What if I told you? The difference between a millionaire and everyone else isn't waking up at 5 a.m. Because that's exactly what Sam believed. So he did what thousands of people do every year. He copied a millionaire's entire daily routine. Every alarm, every workout, every cold shower, every minute. For 90 days. He expected to become more productive, more disciplined, maybe even richer. Instead, he ended up frustrated. Because despite doing everything right, his life barely changed. And that's when he discovered the one thing every productivity video forgot to mention. Every morning at exactly 5:00 a.m., Sam's alarm exploded beside his bed. He hated it. But the billionaire he admired swore that successful people wake up before everyone else. So Sam dragged himself out of bed. Cold shower, meditation, journal, workout, healthy breakfast, no phone. Exactly like the video. For the first week, he felt unstoppable. He even started believing this was the missing piece of his life. But what happened next is something almost nobody talks about. Here's the strange thing about routines. They're easy to admire. They're easy to copy. But they're incredibly hard to understand. Sam thought he was copying success. What he was actually copying was someone else's schedule. Not their thinking. Not their priorities. Not the decades of decisions that created that schedule. It's like copying the answers on a math test. Without learning how to solve the problems, the answers only work in the original context. Yet millions of people spend hours watching videos titled, Morning Routine of Millionaires. How billionaires spend their day. What successful people do before breakfast. As if success begins with an alarm clock. But here's a question. If waking up at 5 was enough, why aren't all bakers, nurses, security guards, and farmers millionaires? Because the routine was never the reason. And Sam was about to learn that the hard way. When day 31 completely changed how he looked at success. By the end of the first month, the excitement disappeared. The routine became work. Sam wasn't becoming more successful. He was becoming better at pretending to be successful. Every morning looked productive. Every evening felt empty. He checked every habit off his list. Yet nothing meaningful moved forward. Then one afternoon, he noticed something. The millionaire whose routine he copied had just spent 4 hours negotiating a business deal. No cameras. No motivational music. No productivity hacks. Just focused work. Meanwhile, Sam spent nearly 2 hours optimizing his morning routine. Researching better journals. Comparing productivity apps. And watching videos about being productive. He had confused preparation with progress. And that's a trap many people never escape. Because preparing feels productive. Planning feels productive. Organizing feels productive. But none of them guarantee results. The brain loves these activities because they create the illusion of progress, without the discomfort of real work. Then Sam noticed one sentence the millionaire casually mentioned during an interview. It completely destroyed everything he believed about routines. The interviewer asked, "What's your morning routine?" The millionaire smiled. Then answered something unexpected. "My routine changes whenever my priorities change." That's it. Not a detailed checklist. Not a secret productivity hack. Not an expensive biohacking protocol. Just one sentence. Sam replayed it 3 times. Then it finally clicked. Successful people don't build their lives around routines. They build routines around what matters most. The routine serves the mission. Not the other way around. Some days, that means waking up at 5. Other days, it means sleeping longer because yesterday's work finished at midnight. Some days, exercise comes first. Other days, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity does. The schedule adapts. The priorities don't. Sam had been protecting his routine instead of protecting his goals. And there's a huge difference. So he ran one final experiment. Not another 90-day challenge. Just one simple question every morning. It changed everything. Instead of asking, "What would a millionaire do today?" Sam asked, "What's the highest value thing I can do today?" Some days, it was making one difficult phone call. Other days, it meant finishing a project he'd been avoiding for weeks. Sometimes, it meant saying no. Sometimes, it meant resting. His mornings became less impressive, but his results became much more impressive. Because value, not activity, creates wealth. Think about it. One focused hour solving an important problem can be worth more than 10 perfectly organized hours spent on low-impact tasks. That's why two people can work equally hard, yet end up with completely different outcomes. One measures effort. The other measures leverage. Millionaires don't just manage time. They manage importance. And that's a completely different game. Looking back, Sam realized he'd spent 90 days chasing the shadow instead of the source. People love routines because they're visible. You can see someone wake up early. You can see someone exercising. You can see someone journaling. But the invisible parts are what actually matter. The uncomfortable decisions. The ability to focus. The willingness to ignore distractions. The courage to work on something that won't pay off for years. Those don't fit neatly into a morning routine video, so they rarely go viral. But they're the real secret. If you admire successful people, don't ask, "What time do they wake up?" Ask, "What problems do they spend their time solving?" Because copying someone's habits, without understanding their priorities, is like wearing a basketball jersey and expecting to play like a professional. The uniform was never the advantage. The thinking was, so tomorrow morning, don't worry about whether you wake up at 5 or 7. Instead, find the one thing that genuinely moves your life forward. Do that consistently, and your routine will naturally begin to resemble success. Not because you copied it, but because you earned it. And that's the difference Sam finally understood after 90 days. The routine wasn't the secret. The priorities were. If this story changed how you think about productivity, subscribe to Quiet Wealth. Because sometimes the biggest financial lessons aren't about making more money. They're about seeing the world differently. And that perspective is often worth more than any morning routine.